Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. Today I am going to describe my short story. Never lie to yourself. Ritik Banerjee had always believed that numbers never lied, but people did, especially to themselves. He worked as a senior officer at a public sector bank branch in a bustling town where the rhythms of life were dictated by market days, loan cycles, and festival seasons. Every morning, as he adjusted his tie in the cracked mirror behind his desk, he would silently repeat the same thought: I am doing fine. It had become a ritual, like balancing the day's ledger or verifying signatures. Yet deep inside, something resisted that statement, like an unresolved entry refusing to tally. The comfortable illusion. Ritik was known among colleagues as efficient, calm, and dependable. Customers trusted him. His managers appreciated his consistency. He had cleared multiple departmental exams and was considered a strong candidate for promotion. But he had also failed the last promotion interview. Just bad luck, he told everyone. Panel was biased, he told his closest colleague, Arindam. Maybe next time, he told his parents. What he never told anyone was the truth he avoided. He had not prepared enough. He had skimmed through circulars instead of studying them. He had relied on experiences instead of sharpening knowledge. He had convinced himself that he already deserved the promotion, and that was the first lie to himself. The kundli on the desk. One afternoon, an elderly man walked into the branch. He wore a simple dhoti kurta, carried a worn leather bag, and had a calm, piercing gaze. I need to open a saving account, he said. Ritik nodded and began the process. As he filled the form, he noticed the man's profession's column, astrologer. Interesting, Ritik said casually. People still believe in astrology so much. The old man smiled faintly. People believe in many things. Astrology only reflects what they already are. Ritik chuckled. Or what they want to hear. Ah, the man said, leaning forward slightly. That is the real problem. People don't want truth, they want comfort. Ritik paused. The man continued. In astrology, the planets don't lie, but interpretations does, especially when the listener wants a convenient story. Ritik completed the account opening, but something about the conversation lingered. As the man stood to leave, he turned and said, Young man, may I ask your birth details? Ritik hesitated, then shrugged. Why not? He gave his date, time, and place of birth. The astrologer closed his eyes briefly, mentally calculating. You are intelligent, he said, but you waste your potential. Ritik stiffened. You avoid hard truths. The man continued calmly, and that is why you are stuck. That's a bit generic, isn't it? Ritik replied defensively. The astrologer smiled. Then let me be specific. You recently faced a setback in career growth, but not because of fate, but because you were not honest with yourself. Silence fell between them. Ritik forced a laugh. Coincidence. The man picked up his bag. There is only one rule for success, he said softly. Never lie to yourself. And then he left. The ledger of truth. That evening, Ritik couldn't shake off the words. Never lie to yourself. He opened his laptop and looked at the promotion syllabus. It stared back at him. Vast, structured, demanding. He remembered the nights he had chosen comfort over discipline. He remembered telling himself, I will cover this tomorrow. I already know this. Experience matters more than theory. Each statement had felt true at the time, but now they felt like entries in a falsified ledger. In banking, even a small mismatch in accounts could trigger audits, penalties, and reputational damage. Yet in his own life, he had allowed discrepancies to grow unchecked. For the first time, he asked himself honestly, did I really give my best? The answer came quietly but firmly no. Planets and patterns. Over the next few days, Ritik found himself reading about astrology, not out of belief but curiosity. He learned about planetary transits, dosas, and the concept of karma. What struck him wasn't the mysticism, but the underlying philosophy. Astrology didn't control life, it reflected patterns. Just like banking data, a customer's transaction history could reveal habits, spending, saving, risk taking. Similarly, astrology claimed to reveal tendencies, strengths, weaknesses, cycles, but both required honest interpretations. If a banker ignored red flags in a loan account, the consequences were predictable. If a person ignored their own flaws, the result was no different. The second meeting. A week later, the astrologer returned to the branch. Ritik immediately recognized him. Sir, he said, standing up, can we talk? The old man smiled. Of course. They sat in a quiet corner. I have been thinking about what you said, Ritik began, about not lying to oneself. And the astrologer asked, I realized I have been doing exactly that, Ritik admitted, especially in my career. The astrologer nodded. Awareness is the first step. Most people never reach it. Ritik leaned forward. Can astrology really predict success? The old man shook his head. No, it can only indicate possibilities. Success depends on how honestly you work with those possibilities. He paused, then added, your chart shows strong potential for growth, but also a tendency for self deception. Ritik sighed. That sounds accurate. Then correct it, the astrologer said simply. How? By treating your life like a bank account. He replied. Every action is a transaction. Every habit is an investment. Every lie to yourself is a hidden liability. The audit begins. Ritik decided to conduct a personal audit. He listed his strengths, experience, communication skills, customer handling. Then he listed his weaknesses, lack of discipline, overconfidence, procrastinations. For the first time, he didn't soften the truth. He created a study schedule, strict, realistic, measurable. No more vague promises, no more excuses. Each day he tracked his progress like a banker tracks transactions. If he missed a target, he didn't justify it, he corrected it. Slowly, something changed. He began to feel in control. Resistance. But change was not easy. Some days he felt tired. Some days he wanted to revert to old habits. His mind would whisper, you have done enough. Skip today, you deserve a break. Earlier he would have listened. Now he questioned each thought. Is this true or am I lying to myself again? Most of the time he recognized the pattern and chose differently. The transit. Months passed, the next promotion exam approached. Around the same time, Ritik revisited the astrologer. My exam is next week. He said, is this a good time astrologically? The old man smiled. It is a favorable period, but that is not why you will succeed. Then why? Ritik asked. Because this time, the astrologer says you are not lying to yourself. The result. The exam was tough, the interview was tougher, but Ritik felt different. He didn't pretend to know answers, he didn't. He admitted gaps honestly. He spoke with clarity, not arrogance. Weeks later, the result came. He had cleared it. Promotion confirmed. His colleagues celebrated. His parents were proud. But Ritik knew the real victory was not the promotions. It was the truth he had finally accepted. Full circle. One evening, Ritik sat at his desk, reviewing accounts. Everything balanced perfectly. For the first time, he felt the same alignment within himself. No hidden discrepancies, no false entries, no self deception. The astrologer's words echoed again. There is only one rule for success: never lie to yourself. Ritik smiled because now he understood. Success was not written in stars, it was written in honesty. Epilogue. Years later, Ritik became a branch manager. Young officers often came to him for guidance. One day, Junior asked, "Sir, what is the secret of success?" Ritik paused, then replied, "In banking, we audit accounts to ensure accuracy. In life, you must audit yourself." He looked directly at the young officers and said, "Never lie to yourself because the moment you do, everything else becomes meaningless." The young officer nodded, not fully understanding, but Ritik knew understanding would come, just like it had for him, one truth at a time. Thank you very much for your patience. Request to like, subscribe, and share.